Great kid. Don't get cocky. All right, here we are, issue 57, the review of issue 57. So first thing we're going to talk about is the Hardcell class transport. And this transport was a kind of a venture by it was designed by the Techno Union um, for use for themselves and the intergalactic banking clan. Hardcell was an impressive vehicle standing 220 meters tall. The vessel landed upon planets vertically, its 6 primary thrusters guiding it down onto terrain. Um, the need for repulsor technology having been dismissed in the craft's original conception, this design choice served two purposes. Firstly, it gave the vessel extra cargo space where the hefty and sizable repulsor lift generators would have gone. Secondly, it gave the ship a distinct advantage when arriving and exiting a battlefield. I was trying to see uh, who there was. So um, spit it out. So the Techno Union designed it, but there was somebody else that built it. I was trying to see where that was. Um, I'm not seeing it at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that there was another group that actually built it. Uh, Maybe we'll run across it again. Um, so yeah, the Techno Union used it for all kinds of different things, right? So um, basically, it got used to collect taxes and deliver stuff and whatever. And then right at the beginning of the war, they started using it to, for war footing, like delivering troops and droids and whatever, right? So one of the things was that it was deemed to be very impressive, right? So the ship was seen as a statement of wealth and prominence, and its impressive silhouette afforded its operators a certain level of importance. The interesting thing was, I'm not sure where it is, but it talks about how when it would come in to land at different spaceports, because it was the way that it was constructed and the amount of thrust and everything, there was no spaceports that were actually designed for it. There wasn't many anyway, I should say. And uh, so as a result, they would always have to park like outside of the normal spaceport because they just couldn't land where that was. I think that's what I was talking about. Versatile vessels. The ongoing popularity of these starships is largely down to their multi-purpose nature, equally at home as a diplomatic transport as it is a cargo carrier or military vehicle. The Hardcell was has excelled in every arena. Its expansive design and build made it a durable ship for those operators looking to impress their clients. There are few more imposing sights than a Hardcell making a landing in a busy spaceport. Indeed, as many spaceports are unable to facilitate the tall vessel, captains are often led to park prominently outside the docking bays. So yeah, so that kind of humorous, I think. Military application, and this just talks about the crew was all Sokokan, um, and we'll probably get into it a little bit. Um, the military role, uh, given its regular forays into battlefield, the ship was surprisingly light to external armament. It was protected primarily by a pair of laser cannon batteries set around the fuselage, though its titanium hull could withstand considerable impact. With no repulsors to get in the way and no requirements to shift between repulsor and thruster mode, the Hardcell was able to descend at speeds up to 800 kilometers per hour. The ship's slip of the tongue retro rockets kept it locked in position, and powerful claw-like landing struts cushioned the landing. As a result, blastoff was quick and powerful. A Hardcell would quickly reach speeds up to 4,000 kilometers per hour when one came under fire. By far the best tactic for the ship's captain was to retreat at speed and head for the safety of hyperspace using Class 1 hyperdrive. The organic commander and crew occupied the highest level of the Hardcell. Pressurized cabins uh, allowed the usually Skakoken crew, and this is the Skakoken crew, to remove their pressure suits in relative comfort, while the ship's medical quarters also lay close at hand. Uh, the design of the Hardcell was unique, able to hold hundreds of battle droids and Hellfire tanks. The design allowed for quick deployment of these forces using a network of powerful turbo lifts, each of the craft's decks connected to the others, allowing for swift vertical deployment of troops and droids and tanks. Um, there was plenty of space inside for such weapons, and in ideal conditions, the Hardcell could deploy its entire arsenal in just a few short minutes. To its advantage, the Hardcell could also retreat quickly, loading craft and troops in swiftly and raising them up to high levels within the ship in short order. However, given the low relative cost of such equipment, any Hardcell captains opted to leave their disposable cargoes behind during a retreat. Design weakness. The Hardcell was a hardy vessel suited to the rigors of fast liftoffs and long bouts of interstellar transits. However, the craft's thin waist above the fuel cells made them susceptible to a carefully placed shot at the Battle of Geonosis, as the Battle of Geonosis showed. Although this meant that their battlefield effectiveness was diminished, that didn't stop the Techno Union supplying hundreds more Hardcells to the Confederacy. So yeah, basically you'd hit right there, as this picture shows, hit right there in the middle, and you can blow it up pretty easy. Let's look at the behind the scenes here. Introduced in 2002, Attack of the Clones. Pardon me. The Hardcell class interstellar transport was one of the iconic vessels of the movie, and was picked up by a number of comics, novels, and computer games of the time. Both the original Battlefront games featured the transports, as did Lego's video game and complete saga, albeit in non-canon appearances. In 2004, the final Young Readers Boba Fett novel, Pursuit, featured the ship, while 2005's Star Wars Visionaries collection showed it in the imaginatively titled Wat Tambor and the quest for the sacred eye of the albino Cyclops. The Hardcell design was taken decades forward in Timothy Zahn's 2006 novel Outbound Flight, while the Star Wars Legacy comics leapt 137 years after the Battle of Yavin to give a glimpse of the Hardcell class in the far future. So there you go. Visiting Onderon. So if you haven't heard about Onderon, this is where Saul Guerrera gets introduced into the Star Wars universe. So Onderon, it's a temperate planet, seemed like a paradise from afar, but the first human colonists arrived soon found that within its thick forests and savage jungles lay many deadly creatures. Rocky mesas and mountains rose high through the forest, proving to be a challenge for the early settlers. Cave systems hidden in the mountains were easily defended, but the biggest issue for these settlers was food. Fighting daily for survival, the settlers battled the creatures for food and protected their homes and families. So that's, basically the early part of Onderon. There was a lot of vicious creatures and all that kind of stuff. So over time, basically, um, that they were able to basically start building some settlements and whatnot, some big stuff, and then they used these vast wall cities. So they would wall off their cities and all that kind of stuff. Onderon was never going to be a highly settled world, but its people eventually grew to a level of civilization where they petitioned to become part of the Republic. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. Uh, Isis is a remarkable, densely populated outpost built for defense. Its thick, high walls are protected by energy shields and a deep moat with a stone bridge to the main gates. Inside the city, the buildings are heavy structures of quarried stone. Most have solid roofs. So, you'd be able to see that. Yeah. Do, 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 do. And this was seen in Clone Wars, is where the show Clone Wars is where you'd first see this stuff. Um, Small windows kept out the creatures of the jungle. If they managed to breach the walls, the wide streets were designed to allow for fast movement of troops or easy escape. Although in recent times, these thoroughfares are more commonly used for expansive markets selling locally grown produce. So you can kind of get an idea of kind of what the city layout is like, and you can see the wall and the gate and the moat and all that kind of stuff there. Um, Leadership for much of its history, Onderon has been ruled by a constitutional monarchy, often backed by a strong military arm. Throughout the history of the planet, many settlements have been wiped out by the deadly creatures that live in the jungles and forests, many due to lack of cohesive leadership to organize the defense. Because of this, Honduranians live in fear of further attacks, which is the main reason why the population has shown itself to be content to live under what have occasionally been deeply unpopular governments. An exception came during the separatist crisis that led to the Clone Wars. One faction seized power and aligned Onderon with the Confederacy of Independent Systems, but popular unrest saw a growing rebel movement that restored the status quo. And that's where Saw Gerrera comes in. So during the Clone Wars, the planet's monarch Sanji Rash allied Onderon with the Confederacy of the Independent Systems. However, many Onderonians refused to recognize the legitimacy of Rash's rule, preferring the neutral stance of the deposed former king Ramses Dendup. Sanji was known by many to be a puppet of Count Dooku, and opposition to his rule led to the formation of the Onderon Rebels, freedom fighters organized by Anakin Skywalker with help from the Jedi. The rebels restored King Dendup, and Onderon returned to the Republic, appointing Lux Bonteri, former senator, to the Separatist Parliament to represent them in the Senate. So there you go. A little bit of behind-the-scenes action here. In February 2003, the official Star Wars Insider magazine printed a galaxy map that incorrectly contained two entries for Onderon. One was located in the Inner Rim, while the other was in the colonies. Leland Chee, keeper of the holocron at Lucasfilm and now a member of the story group, confirmed that the Inner Rim location was correct. So apparently you would have seen two Onderons here. And of course my eyes suck, so I can't see them. It'd take me forever to try to find them. But you'd see two Onderons here, and then you'd see someplace else. So that's interesting, right? Um, yeah. Firefighting. This is important. All right. So much like probably on naval ships, having a fire on a space-going vessel would probably be like one of the scariest things like ever, right? Um, But so to help defense that, a lot of places, a lot of ships have automated stuff. Okay, so that's important to note. The use of energy weapons, even during peacetime, uh, shipboard fires can easily be caused by everything from poor electrical maintenance to flammable cargo in transit. That is why the latest firefighting equipment must not only be fitted to every vessel, but also regularly inspected and maintained to the highest standards to ensure starships is space-worthy. Shipboard safety systems, mainly careless starship captains and crew, has not lived to regret being lax upon or about safety procedures, with out-of-control fires rapidly consuming all of the oxygen on board before causing the hull to lose its integrity and implode. All reputable manufacturers insist on regular inspections and services of the shipboard firefighting equipment on every vessel that rolls off its production lines to ensure warranty remains valid. Even secondhand starship dealers, who generally offer their own limited warranties, insist on the same rigorous conditions as the manufacturer. So do galactic insurance companies, or else their policies will become void. A typical mid-range vessel, the Carillion Engineering Corporation's YT-1300 light freighter, comes with a built-in fire suppression system designed to fight fires automatically as they occur. Pressurized canisters containing both anti-incendiary gas and high-expansion foam, fire suppression foam, commonly known as fire foam, are installed around the ship. When the ship's internal sensors pick up a fire, they activate the suppression system, which fights the fire through strategically installed nozzles. However, Han Solo and Chewbacca have learned not to trust the automatic system on board the Millennium Falcon. The ship is so old, and her sensors and computer systems so unpredictable, that there have been instances when the small fire has broken out undetected by the ship. The captain and the first mate are too proud to admit it to others. However, and Solo has even bragged about his ship's firefighting abilities. In practice, of course, Hans bragged about them even though they suck. In practice, the pair keep a series of handheld fire extinguishers in vital sections of the ship. There is one, for example, in the cockpit, and there are more at every hatch. Firefighting droids. In addition to automatic systems, droids are often used to fight fires aboard starships. Firefighter droids were included in the 139,000 battle droids carried aboard Trade Federation battleships around the time of the Clone Wars. They look like standard battle droids, but the top of their heads were painted red. You can see that there and there and there. And then with luminous yellow stripes on the droid's torso, arms, waist, and ankles. So yeah, they were marked pretty heavily. And then this actually shows them. I'm assuming that is firefighting droids tackling a blaze in the hangar bay of General Grievous's flagship Malevolence, using the ship's fire hose to put out the flames with streams of retardant foam. So that's from Clone Wars. And this here is from Revenge of the Sith. There, so um, firefighting capabilities is built into at least some of the droid manufacturers' industrial automation models. The company's sophisticated astromech droids include a small built-in fire extinguisher on the R2 model, the extendable firefighting nozzle, which sprays fire retardant, is hidden behind the third flip-open panel on the droid's domed head to the left of its holographic projector. R2-D2, who began his life assigned to the Naboo Royal Starship, came to rescue the Millennium Falcon and her crew with his fire extinguisher on numerous occasions. Once, when the Falcon was under attack from TIE fighters as they fled the first Star Destroyer, R2-D2 extinguished a small electrical fire in the ship's hold with the ship's automated fire suppression had failed to pick up. Had it been allowed to spread, the ship might never have been made it to the fourth moon of Yavin, where it delivered the battle station plans to the Rebel Alliance. On another occasion, aboard Bespin Cloud City, R2-D2's fire retardant was used to create cover for the city's Baron administrator, Lando Calrissian, as he fled to the Falcon with his new friends from the Rebel Alliance. The droid's timely use of the retardant saved the ship's former owner, along with Princess Leia, Chewbacca, and the disassembled C-3PO from Imperial stormtroopers. And of course, then there's fire ships, and that's, we talked about these ones here previously, so very important. And then this is just talking here about R2 stuff. So, as first line emergency measures, some astromechs are equipped with small fire extinguisher sprays. The limited amount of space inside the droid means that there's only room for a small reservoir of fire retardant medium, and is at the most, and as it is most likely they will be dealing with electrical fire. The normal chemical used is the inert gas halon, which can be stored in highly compressed form. This is very interesting. So, fires in low gravity can be less predictable and more lethal than on Earth, as experiments aboard the International Space Station have shown. There have been experiments where we observed fires that we didn't think could exist, but did. NASA aerospace engineer Dan Diedrich told Smithsonian Magazine in 2012. On Earth, a fire creates a convection process which keeps the flames fed with fresh oxygen, but NASA found that odd things happen in space where gravity loses its grip on solids, liquids, and gases. If you ignite a piece of paper in microgravity, the fire will just slowly creep along from one end to the other, Diedrich said. Astronauts are still very excited to do our experiments because space fires really do look quite alien. The magazine concluded that such fires might appear eerily tranquil to people accustomed to the capricious nature of the earthly flames. But a flame in microgravity can be more tenacious, capable of surviving in less oxygen, and burning for longer periods of time. Pretty dangerous. Pretty cool, though. All right. So that was everything in this episode. Again, this was the episode we put in our circuit board, that was exciting. Episode 58, we're going to get some parts here, a bunch of screws and some framework and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see what we're doing there. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and may the force be with you always.